All right, let's get started. Hello, and welcome. Thanks for coming out today. We've got a sign-in sheet here to pass around. I want to welcome Ty. Ty is New Vista. He'll be working with All Aboard Grafton. He's our final turn this town around Vista. And Amanda's here with the hub, and she'll be speaking with us here shortly as we get rolling. And we have several things to talk about. Melissa will be coming, and we do need her. But how many of you heard any part of E. Gordon Gee's State of the University address the other day? Amy, Brian, okay, very good. I bought the other day not both, but I bought both the Clarksburg and the Dominion Post, the Clarksburg Exponent and Dominion Post newspaper to get their takes on what he had to say. And of course, both of them had different things in their article. But if you get on university's website, you can actually pull up his entire presentation, and also one is a very condensed video of what his address was about, and there's also another video embedded in there about his, it's a couple minutes long, about Dr. Gee's journeys around the state of West Virginia this summer, doing his county tours to get public input about what's going on and how the university can help. So anyway, why are we talking about this? Well, the last couple weeks we've been talking about the future direction of All Aboard Grafton and what we need to be focusing on for the next 3 to 5 years. Incredibly so, and I don't know how we do this, I guess it's Providence, but for somehow what we've been trying to do the last couple of weeks kind of aligns with what Dr. Gee has been doing, or has put together in his State of the University address. But what he's calling in the State of the University address, he's calling his plan West Virginia Forward. And that's basically what we're doing here, only it's called, it's like Grafton Forward. And we've been identifying all these things that All Aboard Grafton needs to be working on. Well, West Virginia University, Dr. Gee, in his infinite wisdom and intelligence, drilled it down to 3 basic things that the university needs to focus on in order to move West Virginia forward. And they are, first, the need to reinforce the foundation that supports economic growth, including our infrastructure, talent base, and business climate. That's what we're doing with e-communities and our business development initiative. The second objective is to identify potential sectors in which West Virginia can grow to diversify our economy. Again, something else that we're working on. And third, finally, we must draw a clear roadmap, helping partners around the state navigate these new pathways toward our shared destination of prosperous West Virginia. So he condensed all this down into 3 general things to focus on. And so what I would like to suggest to the group is, it's no secret, I'm a great fan of Dr. Gee. He was at WVU when I first was a student there, and he left and went about his way, and he's very well traveled. But he came back when we needed a president to fill in, and he did such a good job, they decided to keep him. And I think the reason why he does such a good job is, well, one, obviously he's very, very intelligent, and he's very experienced. But the main thing is, he's older. He basically could be retired, but he chooses not to be. And he has no political aspirations. So here's somebody who's just genuinely interested in moving West Virginia forward and West Virginia University forward. And he's just basically a few miles up the road from us. So I'm a great fan of his. And I think his roadmap, not only for West Virginia University, but also the state of West Virginia, is something that we need to pay heed to and pay attention to. So if you have time in the near future, highly recommend that you look on WVU's website at the entirety of what he had to say. I started to print it out. It was only 9 pages, but for some reason I only printed 5. So that's really condensed. But look at it. I've always been a big proponent of not reinventing the wheel if it's not necessary. So if there's some way that All Aboard Grafton that we can align ourselves, even as small as we are and a small community that we are, if we can align ourselves what this institution 20-some miles up the road is doing, then we'll be better for it. And we'll make our community better, and a better community helps make the state better. And that's what we're all after. So there you go. Those are my opening remarks in a nutshell. Any comments?
I just think it's pretty cool that we're a small community and we're basically neck and neck with them, by what it sounds.
Right.
So
it's, you know, it's interesting, George. I don't know how that happens. Like I said, it must be Providence, but we seem like we always get on the wavelength of something right before the universe says, yeah, you should be, and somebody else is. So I'm all about being on the band. Jump on the bandwagon, Barb.
Exactly.
So, and that's a great bandwagon to jump on. A few announcements that before we get into the meat of different things to talk about. Welcome, ladies.
Thank y'all.
I got a call yesterday, and I just called back to follow up, but tentatively, Congressman McKinley will be with us on October 19th. And my understanding is he wishes to take a tour of Main Street, Kevin, and visit with businesses on Main Street for a few moments in each one. And he's not interested in having the businesses come to him and sit around a table, because he doesn't want the business owners to take away from their businesses to cater to him. Interesting concept. So get that on your calendar. And there are many other things to get on the calendar. We won't get into that right now. First Friday in October is coming up, and Becky Bartlett is the coordinator, so reach out to her if you have anything.
Do you have a number
And
for
Amy.
her? I'm sorry, do you have a number for her?
Yes, let me give that to you. She said it was okay to give it out, so I'm glad you asked. Get my phone to cooperate.
if you don't have
You got it,
You don't
George?
have
it, yeah, I do.
Okay, what is it?
304-290-9103.
That's it.
Pretty handy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Why don't I just write this on my calendar?
It's your new phone.
Say it again. Say it again.
304-290-9103.
Reach out to her if you've got anything. Okay, Lear is not here, so I wanted to ask them about November, but I'm sure if that is, I'll text them to follow up. Art Stock happened this past Saturday. It was a great day. We're planning to have it again next year. Same Saturday after Labor Day, which will be September 8th, 2018. So we're looking to do it better, if not bigger. So we'll go from there. But I think all the vendors had a good day from what I understand, what we can tell. I wish there was some way that we could, I don't know how willing the vendors would be to confidentially disclose the information, but I'd like to get some kind of handle on what kind of economic impact it brings to the area.
Oh.
Mama made $150 that day.
Okay.
300. Good,
170.
good, good.
So,
I made 170 for All Aboard Grafton through with t-shirts.
How about raw?
So,
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
yeah, and that doesn't count all the other vendors, so it does bring economic impact.
Tom, how many vendors were there?
We had 27, I think, sign up, and there's only about 25, I believe, show up, all told. So, pretty
So if
good.
everyone made $100, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, that's, I think on average, they did better than that, though, it tells me, so. But it would be nice to know, just,
You know, what I found so wonderful was that the people who came loved it and looked forward to it from last year to this year. So I thought that was really nice to hear.
good.
And from out of town, my parents thought it was very cool.
And they're from Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. And your dad is not easily impressed.
Nope.
He's a very nice man, your mother is too. Not a man, but your parents are very nice people. All right, edit that out. Anything else? Okay, we move forward, so stay tuned, but we're already working on next year. So. And like I said, it would be better if not bigger, so, and not have to do that out of, just so I can survive. Okay, what is going on? Big thing this weekend, Brian Smith, Adventure Fest.
It is. It's Saturday. It's shaping up really good. This morning, I was on the Gary Bowden radio show talking about it. I got a phone call yesterday from him asking me to come on his show and talk, so I thought it was really cool to talk with him about it. And then last night, I got a phone call, or yesterday afternoon, I got a phone call from Dunham's up in Elkins. That's who we bought the stand-up paddle boards off of through the Try This grant. And one of the paddle boards didn't have a fin, so I called and told them, asked where my fin was, and they ordered it and came in yesterday. So I went up to pick it up last night, and the grouch lady at the front wasn't too happy about it. And so she was like, "You got to talk to the store manager." So Mike, the store manager, came up and he walked back and he said, he goes, "Go for a walk with me." I said, "Okay." And he goes back and he says, "Pick out a kayak." I said, "I don't have any money to buy a kayak." He said, "No." He says, Dunham's going to donate one as one of their prizes for the fishing tournament.
Awesome.
And he said, "Pick any one you want." And he said, I said, "You don't have to do it." He said, "What? Do it." I said, "All right." So Dunham's donated a kayak and ended up donating a fishing pole to go together as the grand prize for the adult fishing tournament. So it turned out to be a really good evening. And so I'm looking forward to Saturday. The phone's been ringing crazy this morning. People asking about it. It went out on, I think it's what's the grades where people live grades or whatever it is on the students log into to check the grades or whatever. The teachers put it out on there for the students to look at. The flyers went home with all the elementary school students. So it's going to be a good day. Weather's going to be great.
Good?
and he sounded very good on the radio.
Excellent. Excellent. So, looking forward to that. Of course, CVB helped you out the other day.
CVB did. They came, donated $500 for sponsorship. And altogether, sponsorship-wise, we were looking at a little over $5,000 in sponsorship for it, so pretty good. Freedom Kia Morgantown came on as a sponsor. That is another $500. Lear helped with the children's program. County Commission, they're paying the cost of the insurance for it for us, and so I mean, it's been a really good community effort putting it together.
Good deal. Good deal. Flemington Days Festival this weekend, and there's going to be fireworks.
That is true. Other than the fact that it is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this is the last year, don't know a whole lot about Flemington Days. Fireworks will probably happen 8 or 8:30. I don't have a definitive time from Olive yet. But you should be able to see them down from that jail community building, old stuff right in that area. We're shooting off the top of Stout Hill. If that means anything to anybody. It didn't mean anything to me until I jumped the gate. So
Teenagers there.
It's a very stout hill.
the man who owns it, his last name is Stout.
Marty.
Yes.
I believe the parade is at noon on Saturday.
Okay,
Cool.
I think so.
very good.
I actually think there's a Facebook webpage.
There is.
Okay.
Stay tuned to the Mountain Statesman, Facebook and all that, keep abreast of it, but support local activities
There's
as much
also
as you
pancake
can.
dinner at Paradise Cove Fridays there.
Oh, yeah, buckwheat cake and sausage
Oh,
at Paradise Cove, it's always a big hit, so. Okay, haunted house. There will be a haunted house again this year. It will not be in the basement of Buffalo Flats. Fire Marshal has other words on that. It will be back.
That is the state fire marshal, not chief prim local.
Right. There's certain parameters you have to jump through in these things, and they're made for the safety of public, and it makes total sense when you wrap your head around it. And you just can't take an old building without a fire suppression system and a lot of wood structure and only one outside exit and bring a bunch of people in there and a bunch of potentially flammable materials and have a gathering. So it's not going to happen in that basement, but it will happen in the middle parking deck again because it lends itself to not being very burnable because it's concrete. So it's going to be up here. It's less than ideal, but we've made provisions to make it better than it was last year. So Melissa's been working on a plan, and you don't have to disclose your plan at this time, but the general nature of the plan is she's going to draw it up, and then we're going to construct the general layout of it, and then we're going to decorate it. So we will need volunteers for construction, decoration, and enactment.
what's the date of it?
We are paring it down to 2 weekends instead of 3, so we will be the weekend of the 20th and 21st, and the weekend of the 27th and 28th. Again, in that sort of darkish 6:45 to 10:30 time frame. And I have taken the storyline that we were going to use in that basement and converted it. It reuses a number of things that we had last year. There will be specific pieces that I'm looking for. I'll send an email blast. If you've got it and you're willing to let us use it, great. If you want it back, let us know. Otherwise, it may end up covered in fake blood. You don't know. But this will be public sometime in the next 72 hours because my folks are still here and I'm trying to do a bunch of things. Just a hot minute on it.
Be good. Thank you very much for what you're doing. But
No problem.
in the spirit of always moving forward, and when you hit difficulties and adversity, you don't quit. You take another route. So that's what we're doing. So keep moving forward. Okay, those are the major things at this point. Amanda?
So as Tom mentioned, we have, Tyler's going to be our new Vista here in Grafton. This is the last year for Turn This Town Around Vista, and the reason why we just stuck with Turn This Town Around was so we didn't have to write another concept paper, which if you've ever had to write a concept paper for Vista, it's a real pain. So that's why we just stuck with it. And then Brianna is staying on. Right now, she's still the Vista leader, but starting in November, she'll be our Vista for entrepreneurial communities. And she'll be the Vista for all 4 of those communities, so Grafton, Lincoln, Madison, and Wyoming County. So she'll still be working here, but have more of a different focus. So what Tyler's going to be focused on, he is going to, I've asked him to meet with the different groups and organizations in town just to familiarize himself with some of the key players and also talk about, what's working, what's not working, what are some of the gaps, different things. He's also going to be helping a lot with fundraising, which I know when we went to create the Cannon a couple weeks ago, we learned a lot about what they're doing to fundraise, so I want that to be a big focus of his. One thing Louise, our Vista guru, wanted me to make clear was that Tyler and Brianna are both here to help, but they're not here to do all of the work. So sometimes the Vista falls down that hole where everybody goes to them for everything, and that's not the purpose. They're here to support and uplift and help everyone, but they're not here to do all the work. So just wanted to relay that message from Louise, and we're excited to have you here. This is his first week, so,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. Thanks.
Thank you very much. The resource team at the meeting this evening?
Yes, at 6 o'clock here at All Aboard.
Okay, it's the resource team for the Communities Initiative. Back to the CVB, they did meet on Monday. They do have a meeting, another meeting scheduled for 10 a.m. October 6th to finalize plans for trunk or treat, Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. As a member of that group, I'm going to say if you're interested in coming to that meeting, you're more than welcome to come at 10 a.m. October 6th. Trunk or treat is scheduled for the 28th of October behind Mother's Day Shrine. They are looking for a judge or judges for the decorated trunks. And if you have a trunk you want to decorate, I guess get with Brenda Thompson and let her know, and you can be there. Okay. All right, now what else is going on? We can go around here. Amy, you got anything for us?
I want to make sure that first Friday, everybody knows that I'm having people come in to speak about the road bond from the Department of Transportation. So, because the vote is on Saturday, and just so they can make an informed decision about that. John Williams is our new District 4 Supervisor for Department of Highways. It used to be Ray Urs, if you're familiar. And he's going to come give a 20-minute presentation, and Dave has told me that we have ability for him here to show that PowerPoint presentation. He's going to take care of that for me. It'll start at 6 o'clock. And John Corio, who's our local Department of Highways person, is going to be here as well. They'll talk about the different projects for Taylor County, and then, of course, statewide, what the projects are going to be, how much money this costs, and where your tax dollars are going to go.
Okay. I spoke with Orville Wright this morning, and he said that there's a representative from the governor's office that is coming October 3rd to the county commission meeting at 7 o'clock on the agenda to talk about the road bond issue. So Orville said anybody is welcome to attend on that October 3rd. And again, where you're open, or town hall meeting here, about the road bond issue. And Orville said if there's not enough space in county commission chambers, they'll move it to the courtroom. So I think it would be really cool if they had to move it to the courtroom.
Well, so that's good. That gives people different opportunities. They'll have, what night is that? Tuesday?
Yeah, it's
It'll be
Tuesday.
a Tuesday night, or it'll be a Friday night, so people should be able to get the information they need to make their decision.
Right. Okay, very good.
Yeah, I had informed the governor's office that we were having this if they wanted to come, so maybe that works out better for them, and it's fine.
Okay, good deal. Kevin, what do you got?
The freight station, we anticipate drilling the pilot wells in October to test the ground, the soil, and also to do the groundwater testing. That's going to be about a week. It'll take about a week to do this. The middle school proceeds on. We expect the school to be down sometime in November. Right now, the cornerstone, we anticipate to have some type of what they call a casket in that cornerstone. That was actually laid by the Masonic Lodge in 1915-ish. And we've already met with the Masons and are hoping to have a public opening at some point. Don't know exactly how that will proceed. That's entirely up to the Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge. We are currently bidding out more sidewalk replacement on West Main Street. This is about 300 feet of sidewalk replacement. We'll open those bids up next week, and hopefully we'll award that bid at that time. I recently met with Thrasher Engineering about doing some, coming to a council meeting and have a workshop about, come up with some preliminary designs for visual improvements to Main Street and East Main Street, and also to give us some ideas on some improvements we can make to Maple Avenue Playground. So, with that, I'll turn it over to someone else.
Thank you very much. Okay, who wants to go next? Sheldon, you got anything?
Donut sale 22nd, 23rd.
Of September.
Yes, sir, next weekend.
Boy, September's blowing right on by. And you've got a nice set of steps up here now then, to get to the deck.
All down road concrete steps.
Yeah, done by a local contractor. Very good. Ty, you got anything?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Just
well.
figured I'd observe this one and maybe be ready for the next one.
Well, again, welcome aboard. Brian, you got anything else? Mary?
The Taggart Lake Fall Fest will be Saturday along with the Adventure Fest. So come by the lodge when you're up at the lake, and hopefully we do want to continue to have things at the gallery, especially on First Friday. In November, I know we plan to have an exhibit at the Historical Society, and we still want to be involved with the community.
Good.
Even though our grand opening hopefully is in January.
And September, you've got an exhibit.
In
The Women's Club?
Yes, and that's going to be at Buffalo Flats.
Yeah. Their exhibit will be down there, so come down and see it. You're setting that up tomorrow, right? So,
Yes.
good. Ernie?
No.
Good to see you. George? MG?
No, I don't think I have anything else right now.
Lisa?
We ordered benches for AJ and trash cans, so they should be in here in a couple of weeks. We have plans to do 2 mini libraries along the trail, so we are looking for community groups that will be willing to. We're going to reach out to the Boy Scouts, Kelly LaRue. Do you have her contact info you could forward to me again if I asked you via email?
Yeah,
I
I'll
lost
have
the
to look and see if I
information
got
she
it.
gave me.
I have it, Lisa.
Do you have, okay, I'm gonna get in touch with the Boy Scouts and maybe even the 4-H if they wanna help to build that, but we're looking for a couple of men that would be willing to head up the, overseeing the project when we do that community day, so if there's someone that's willing to do that. We have dimensions, you register it with My Little Library and things like that, so, once we get the benches in and we'll plan a day this fall and think about it, but if anybody is willing to do that, head that up, you can contact me or Kathy Coombs.
Do you plan on, is it going to be children's books?
It can be anybody's books that want to be in there. So I have right now, we have an abundance of books as starting points. So I've donated some. We just gave a box or a case to Dave to put down in the store. And then I have right now books that were probably for middle-aged school kids to little tiny kids, and I have parent resources. So once we get ready, we will make it an announcement for books and things like that. And we're also going to incorporate a design on the back of it to have a scavenger / physical activity engaging the parents or the people who are on the trail, like, stop here, do 10 jumping jacks or go find something round, identify poison ivy, I don't know what the trees are out there, so I'll pretend to know, but different things like that, just to engage them, and incorporate some physical activity, like, if you walk the trail 3 times, you walk a mile. I'm making that up right now, but we'll figure it out and know the real thing. So that, because with it being a Try This mini grant, we'll incorporate literacy, we'll incorporate community involvement, and then we'll incorporate physical activity, so. It's up on and upward. It's actually all leveled and you guys can walk it. So I suggest if you need a place to get some fresh air, I could use that today.
Having the high school students, the shop class, build the Blue Free Library.
Which meeting was that?
I can't remember whether it happened at the patch or the FRN
Oh, okay.
meeting, but.
I bet you it was a patch because I don't remember it in the FRM meeting.
Okay.
That could be possible, and we may reach out to that. That might be a new development since, because I have play group on Wednesdays,
Right.
so I missed patch. So we will do that, but I do want a couple of people I trust with power tools that we actually have libraries that are functional.
Two suggestions, comment is the students at the high school would be great.
Yeah.
If that doesn't pan out, if you need somebody to supervise, reach out to Terry over at New Horizons.
Okay.
That would be a good thing for them to do, or maybe perhaps, at least he could supervise.
Yeah, we can provide materials and stuff, so it's
Yeah.
just basically having a.
And that also gets the county involved.
Yeah, we can do that.
McKella?
Not really anything, but speaking of the haunted house, First Community Bank promised us Jean Day money, so I'll swing by there today and see if they're ready for us to
That would be
grab that.
awesome.
Cool. Very cool. Sheila?
I sent an email out yesterday about a fundraising opportunity that came into my inbox. I literally sent it out as soon as I got it. It's the Buckwheat Festival needs groups to work on on Friday the 29th at the actual buckwheat dinner. I guess it's an all-day thing, so it's not really so much a dinner, isn't it? But anyways, it is a big commitment. It is all day. Someone has to be there at 6 or 6:30. It's all together. We need 25 to 30 people, but it's possibly $1,500 to $2,000 raised in that one day. So that's a big commitment. I'm not expecting anybody to necessarily be super excited about it, but I wanted to make sure that that opportunity was known. Maybe some groups would want to come together and split the money. So that is that.
Yes.
I think that weekend is empty bowl.
September 30th.
30th,
Mhm.
so that, I don't know if that would conflict with that or not.
Well, this is on the 29th. This is on Friday. Apparently they've got Saturday covered now. And that does also make it more difficult because it's a Friday, it's a work day. Most of us will be at work.
So if folks from All Aboard Grafton go, then some of the money will come back to All Aboard Grafton?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd just like to say that I've done this with 4-H in the past, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's so much fun. And if anyone wants to do it, I would have no problem, having a group together doing that, because it is so much fun doing this, hanging out with, pouring buckwheats and cooking sausage, and it's just fun.
Okay. I know the email did come around. I didn't look at it, but I saw the gist of it. Okay. What's the deadline on that, Sheila?
I
Till
wasn't
it's
given one.
filled or?
Yeah, I guess, until it's filled.
Okay. Dawn, do you have anything else? Barb?
I am getting together for the First Friday workbook that I'm going to put out for the attitude presentation that I'm doing. So hopefully it'll help people think about, what we're doing here and, getting their brains going. That's all.
Very good. Howard? David? Why are you taping?
I realize I sat down here.
Can I add something else? I wanted to
Sure,
wait
sure,
till
sure,
if
sure.
everybody had time to talk, but the bridge naming that we had last week was really very nice and very successful. I felt like the Warder family was a huge turnout, 20 of them. I was thinking 5 people would come and we'd do our thing, but they came, and I got an email from Rear Admiral Warder's daughter today and thanking the town and the city and everybody for the cooperation and how honored they felt to have that. So that went
Super.
really well. And when you said about the filming, Dave filmed it, so that was nice that other people could see it. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was, what do you think, this was just an idea about on the Thursday night meeting that we have, or daytime meeting, about asking the Economic Development Authority folks to join our group to discuss you know, they have some of the same mission that we do and some of the missions that Guy's talking about to move our community forward, but we don't really know what opportunities are coming to them and what decisions they're making. And I was talking to someone the other day about an opportunity that we had that we did not take. And so it'd be nice to know what those things are. Who is looking at Grafton? How are we deciding who we offer things to and who we don't? And it might be nice to meet with them or invite them to our meeting as well. And I know we can contact them through Patricia Henderson.
That's a great idea, and actually, I think the evening meeting in September, that's when you're going to start running this year's episodes of Small Business Revolution. So that would fit quite nicely if they would want to join us, and then we can begin watching that series. It's season 2, you know, we watched season 1 back in the spring, but yeah, that would be great. So
She has all the members' names. I don't know if that's changed from, I know that Rusty Efall's on there. Owen Phillips is on there. Leonard Lucas, I believe. Jenny Weaver, unless those have changed, but they would have the names of the members.
good. And there's, we can definitely reach out to Patricia and see if we can't get something going on that. Because
Now, is their meetings public or is it closed?
I've attended.
They would be public.
Are they public? I've never been to a meeting at the courthouse because I'm trying to stay away from that way.
anything any government meeting is public unless it's like an executive session thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they receive tax dollars from the
Yeah.
state or their entity of a branch of the county government.
And then did you get that link I sent you? It was, there's an episode, a new episode on season 1, going back to Wabash and seeing what happened after 1 year. Okay, so we want to watch that the week before or whatever,
Next week, I think.
before we start watching this new series. But they actually go back to Wabash, Indiana and see what the impact was on those businesses that they put their fingers on and touched. So that'll be interesting to see. Yes.
With that being said, have we scheduled the training yet with Susie and Todd Crum? Just curious.
They talked about October.
So we'll be looking at that and moving forward. But, you know, this economic development has got to be on the forefront. And what we're doing, if we can work with the Economic Development Authority, then we need to do that. So if we can get everybody on the same page. Because what David's doing is, and he did this for Bridge Day, is taking his own personal equipment and videotaping these things. And to get them on YouTube, hopefully on Channel 15, whatever, going forward, so that people have another way to be connected to what's going on in the community, and also serve as a way to archive and document what we're doing, where we've been, so on for, you know, maybe 50 years from now, they'll have something on a first Friday, and it won't rain because there'll be a big bubble over the town. But, you know, they'll look back and show some of these videos and see what we did. But anyway, that's what he's doing. We don't live on an island, believe it or not. Taylor County is not an island. We have a great community newspaper, but it's very easy to go to Circle K or GoMart or Gump's or wherever and get Clarksburg and Morgantown, Fairmont newspapers to see what else is going on around the region. And we have the internet, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, for all the good and the bad and the ugly of it, but that's how the world connects. So we've got to, you know, if we're going to continue to go forward, we've got to embrace these things and try to reach out and connect, like the resource group is trying to do, connect resources to needs for how we can make them work and work for us to continue to move forward. So it all does make sense what we're doing, believe it or not. If we're just not a bunch of random people that show up here on a random basis and doing random things. But, you know, we do try to keep moving forward. And when we're thrown a roadblock, like, okay, you can't have a haunted house in the basement of this old building, okay, well, where can we do it? So you go and find a place to do it. You can't paint a mural on this building, okay, where can we do it? We come down the street and put a mural on another building. So you just keep moving forward. Don't focus on the negative. Anybody have anything else?
I have a comment.
Sure.
I think the sign down across from the fire company that Kevin has been updating on a regular basis is very important to let everybody know what's going on all the time. And I noticed lately that some things could have been put on there or added to that bridge ceremony and things like that, because people go past there all the time when it's up there. It may be one of the best places in town to get local events, even if the paper doesn't get them. So I commend you on that. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. I found myself, speaking of that sign, I found myself at times with a question about when something is or what time it is, and I know it's on that board, and I'll just take a minute to watch the sign to get the information.
I think a lot of people stop there and see what's going on that week or what's coming up. So that's an added bonus for that sign. It's at a very good location. You can, most of the time, pull over there and take about 5 minutes and go through the sign and see what's going on. And that's excellent.
Very good. Anything else? 45 minutes. I tell you, we're getting pretty consistent at this 45-minute stuff. So I promise you there'll be a time we'll go an hour and a half or 2 hours. But thank you for what you do. Carry on.